What's up, people? Oh, some clapping to the start of the stream. So we've done a lot of live. It seems like we've done a lot of live streams lately. We did have one yesterday. I think I did 2 last week. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. So we just went through a 3D Chameleon live streams. I am pretty satisfied with how that came out. I will continue to do testing on that, but I need to get on to some other things, and this one is included. This is the Snapmaker, so this is the original Snapmaker. Snapmaker was kind of one of the really popular Kickstarter 3D printing ventures, and they have another one coming out, Snapmaker 2.0. This is not 2.0, this is the original one. But they got a hold of me and asked me if I would like to have one, and I said, sure, why not? And the Snapmaker is listed as 3-in-1. So you have 3D printing, you have laser engraving, and then the one I'm not so sure about, CNC carving. We'll see. I've heard mixed things about the Snapmaker, but we are going to find out together. So that's what we're going to do today. Hopefully everyone is well. There's a lot of you in the chat already. Gem Sellers, Scott at Hack Monkey is here. TK3D Prints, Ronald DHS, Edgy the Tech, Rushmore 3D, Bill from 3D Chameleon is here. What's up, Bill? Stephen Friend, Dan, Zolan. All of the peoples are here. So that's what we're going to do today. It's going to be, as Stephen the Lightspeed just came in with a good morning. Good morning. It's going to be an interesting day all around. We'll hang out. We'll see what's in this box. We'll have some coffee. And we'll just see what's up, shall we? Now, the assembly on this guy doesn't look super complicated. But you know how things go round here. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. So let's just see what's in this box. It is a top open box, which I noticed is kind of interesting. How has everyone's weekend been? Mine has been, I would say, okay. 6 out of 10. We have a box and a box, and I always love a box that has a handle on it. That camera is just slightly irritated by the white on this box, but we can fix that a little bit. I always love a box with a handle on it. It is a very professional looking box. Fancy stuff that have been laser etched and things. Looks like it has a little touch screen and such. Alrighty. Famous last words. I say things like that just to make my life harder. Got home with a new ride. Bill sent me a picture of his new ride. Bill, tell us a little bit about your ride. I believe what I saw in that picture was a Fiero. And a pretty nice looking Fiero at that. I haven't seen a Fiero since I was a very young man. I didn't even know that there were any of those still around. That is a nice knife I have here. I'm going to leave it open on the table just for you. Mr. Tom Llama himself skinned this knife and sent it to me. It has a little basement guy on it. I use it pretty much every day. Thank you very much, Tom. It's an 84 Fiero with 65,000 miles on it. All original. It is a sharp looking car, I gotta say. I always thought they were very neat cars. I had a buddy that had one converted into a Lamborghini, you know, with all the really poorly done bodywork and, and things like that. But I haven't seen one in a long time, and that one looked really sharp. So good on you, Bill. Street legal go-kart. That's a good way of putting it. That's a good way of putting it. It's an interesting, it's a calibration card. Gotcha. I was like, what is that? Got some stickers. Do we actually get a paper manual? Here's the one for CNC carving. I will not be carving or, it has quotes from Einstein on it. I will not be carving or lasering today. We will be printing only. Maybe we will do some of that at a later time. Welcome to the Snapmaker family. Okay. Interesting. They have a Delta on there. I didn't know they made a Delta. Chris Lane's here. What's up, Chris? They have printed instructions, which is not very usual. Huh. Alright. Well, that's cool, I guess. Okay. So let's just get everything out of the box and see what we're going to do here. Let's see what's in accessories and tools. Let's just pull everything out. It's pretty high quality stuff, really. And it feels nice. Everything is nicely greased. Looks good. And then you have these 3 heads. 3D printing, laser engraving, and carving. So let's just deal with 3D printing for now. It has a very cute little hot end. I'm not sure what they do with this hub. The brain of your Snapmaker. So this is how they talk to the printer, is with this thing. That's kind of interesting. You gotta branch out once in a while, folks. Gotta branch out. Cables, power adapter, filament, the heated bed, touchscreen. Interesting. What else we got? Anything else on the bottom? No. What kind of filament do we have here? Some generic white PLA. I really don't want to get everything all crazy out of here. The base plate is under here, so I guess we'll go ahead and take out the cables. What is this? That looks to be maybe a thumb drive. We have a little tiny touch screen. Everything's got RJ45 on it. Power adapter. And our base plates. Safety glasses. That's good. I have to say, slightly nervous about doing any kind of lasering whatsoever down here. Just saying. I think this is all we need. Let's put this back in here too. You don't want to lose an eye. You don't want that. Are we still talking about Fieros? Six Miatas, and this is your second Fiero. Nice. I don't think I've ever been in a car. I've been in a Fiero before, but it's been a long time ago. I really couldn't tell you much about it. People don't respect lasers enough. I would say that that is a fair statement. I think people sometimes think it's a bit trivial, when it is not. It's a lot of knurled knobs. There's a little bit of hardware in here. Blindness, fire, fumes. Well, when they're all mixed at the same time, that's what makes me feel so comfortable. You're blind, there's a fire and fumes. That makes for an interesting day. I give you a little spatula, what appears to be a set of tweezers. You get a screwdriver. Guessing those are the cutting bits, maybe. Okay. So, M4x10, I'd say that was them right there. Looks like we have 8s and 10s. I still have an unhealthy fear of sharks equipped with lasers. Like, yes, it looks like we have 10s and 8s. I love it when that happens. Just enough off to make things interesting. They do put nice arrows and everything on here, so you don't mess things up. Hardman's here, what's up? Techno Rat, good luck with your surgery, man. Okay, let's check out the tools just for fun. It is half Phillips, half hex driver. Let's use it, why not? It's kind of tiny. Doesn't feel really suitable for the size of my hand, but eh. What was that? Did you see that flash? One of the UPSs let out a chirp, too. What's up, 3D Meg Vince? I love the eccentric nut shirt. That is awesome. It's almost as good as the shirt that I saw a young man wearing at Murph last time I was there. It said Slick 3R spelled out phonetically, and I really enjoyed that shirt. The feet are on. Step 1 is done. Time to take a break. Okay, so we got base plate feet on. That's the bed, and then there's a plate as well. They give you an extra floppy sheet. This looks to be threaded through and through. Oh, that's the actual heated bed, not the plates. Note the location where you plug in your telephone, right there. So which one of these large chunks of metal would they prefer? Because they're all almost identical. This looks to be completely lead screw driven. They are identical. Nice. That's going to be pretty hard to screw up, hopefully. Chris said 9 hours later. Linear module is what they call it. How about some thumb screws? Heated bed has been attached. Feels like I'm cheating by reading this manual. What screws do we need? We need some of the 8s now. .3D Print Vikings here. So as Mr. Buttram, hello? Chris looks like an IROC guy. I never had an IROC guy around my neighborhood. I was not one. But there was always that guy, right? We didn't have one. I was into Japanese cars. I had an Eclipse. I had a couple, actually. An Eclipse. I had a Talon, which is pretty much the same car. I really liked the turbocharged cars. I like the way they work. The turbocharged always intrigued me. But I did like building motors and things. I really liked... I have done a lot of automotive work in my day. The IROC was most of those were already long since burned out by the time I came around. The Camaros were the round one when I was getting into cars. there were still a lot of the square bodies around. Sergio is here. What's up? Yes, I love the DSM. I do. I used to have crazy amounts of parts for those things. I'd have guys showing up wanting to buy parts, and you needed them. If you ever worked on a DSM, you needed them. Bob is here. What's up? Through YouTube crew. That's us. Okay, okay. So then we take another linear module. It's almost like building Lego or something. Now they show those like that. I think the picture just doesn't look quite right, that's all. Because this is the only way that it's going to fit. Too much work to be Lego? I don't know, man. Some of those Lego kits are a lot of work. When you step on it, does it hurt as much? There's nothing more painful than stepping on a Lego. I don't, there's nothing that compares. I'd rather have my arm sawn off than, step on a Lego. Especially in the middle of the night. Hey, yeah, Dodge Daytona, man. I remember those. My brother-in-law had a Daytona that was just about like that. Those were actually pretty sharp. My boss had, what was that thing? Mitsubishi made a car called the Starion, but Plymouth made one too. And he had one of those. It was like an 87 or something. It was actually really cool. I can't remember the name of it. Somebody will come up with it. Conquest. That's right. Conquest. That thing was sharp, man. My roommate had a Stealth, or he had the 3000 GT, but yeah, my roommate had a 3000 GT. I said yes. Hello, James over at Print and Play. What's up? One of the sharpest cars that I ever saw, which wasn't a car, was Typhoon. It was a Chevy Blazer. I believe they were supercharged. That thing was awesome. That was one of the coolest vehicles that I've ever seen, and it was just an old Blazer. You know, when it all came down to it, but it was really sharp. Yeah, the Cyclone. I remember the Cyclone. You know, I've never seen a Cyclone in person. I remember they made it, but I've never actually seen one on the street. I have seen quite a few Typhoons, but I've never seen the S10, the Cyclone in person. I always kind of wanted to check one of those out. All right. So we've got our touchscreen on. We've got our Z axes doing its thing.
Looking for a laser engraver only.
Johnny, what is up? Thank you very much for the $5. Laser engraver only. I know very little about laser engraving or CNC, to tell you the truth. I lean on my buddies for things like that. Um, just off the, I'm sure somebody in chat could help you come up with something that was a good idea, something affordable. I would also check out Daniel over at the ModBot channel. He has a 3D printing channel. He knows a lot more about lasers and stuff. I always talk to him or Dave Randolph over at Printed Solid. I always talk to those two guys when I need to know something about lasering. I don't know much about it. I'm not well versed in it. Glowforge is plug and play. Nice. Uh, I'm not sure how you say your handle, but we're just gonna go with JD. What's up? Thanks for coming to the stream. Now they tell you to use the second hole on this, but it wouldn't actually line up that way. But that's nice that there's lots of options. JD works, awesome. Yeah, maybe we should do some summertime lasering outside. We'll host Chris's basement from Chris's backyard. So the little screen actually just sits in place with some magnets. That's kind of fun. I like magnets. How adorable is that? Ah, it tells you that right there. Reading. What can't it do? Okay, attach the 3D printing module. That's what we want to do. Where's the module? Here's the module. Which way does the hot end go? Down? Is it supposed to go down? I think it goes down. It's Sunday. You know how things go. Memon? We're going to say that's how you say that? I'm just doing my thing. How are you doing? Thank you for coming to the stream. Anvil, what's up? Thanks for joining. I predict you're gonna love this little. Maybe I will. If you watch my channel or you watch these live streams or you follow me much, you probably already know that I kind of have this affliction for things that are somewhat strange. If it's got character, I already like it. So this might be one of those things. Jim, thank you very much for the $1. I appreciate that. Anvil, second day home from the hospital. Well, I hope you get better, whatever you were in there for. Thanks for watching. Hey Bennett, what's up, man? Would your printer being really loud possibly be a sign of the belts needing replaced? The belts needing replaced is usually a visual thing, and I mean, it depends on the belt. There's all kinds of different belts and different qualities of belt. But the loud is probably more than likely coming from a bearing. You probably have, if I were just to take a quick guess, you have an idler that's going out. It never hurts to change a belt, but if you do change a belt, get an actual Gates belt or something with a little stretch to it. You're going to have a better time than some of like the steel banded belts, which I don't care for. But I would just take a stab and say you probably got a bearing problem. Okay. Where's the smaller screw at? Here it is. Nope, that's not it. Well, maybe that is it. I think that's my only option left. So we're going with it. What's up, Tristan? What's up, Don? Nice. 1.4 on your Ender 5. Gates power grip, absolutely. For your 3D printer, your tractor, your motorcycle, all the things. Your box fan in your garage, your sewing machine. These are all things I've personally put a belt on. It is tiny. It is a very dainty little machine. I believe it is 150 if it's that big. It's a tiny little dude. No, it's not even that big. It's about 125 is going to be pretty hard to get out of this guy. The Pro Mega, I've tried to tinker with it a bit here and there, trying to get it going. Mostly it's setting. And I know, Steven, we've talked about that before. I never actually got a response from the person that actually owns it. Oh, this is their spool holder. I have that problem that probably most of you do. I just can't let things go. And, you get so many projects and then you can never finish any of them. But that's been one of those. It's like, you know what, man, I could probably make that pretty decent. I could probably do something with it. but it's like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get around to it. That is one of those projects. It was such a disappointment. I feel like that I owe it something, but whatevs. Okay. Number 1, what's cables. And we got a USB cable. Four and a half inches, 120. That's probably a fair assessment. 120 sounds about right. It's a touch. It's probably actually around 126, and when you measure it, but yeah, 120 is about all you're gonna get. So the print head goes in number 1. That call has been connected. X goes in number 2. What are we calling X? This guy. That call has been connected. Y goes in number 3. I'm expecting a modem noise at any moment. Z goes in 5. We're going to skip 4. And then 6 is the bed. Six is the bed. Then do not do this when the machine is powered on. That's good advice. The screen goes over here on the other side. We've got a screen, a USB stick. Here's our screen deal. And then a place for a power cable. And we have this brick. I believe they're actually 45s. Yeah, they're 45s. They're just kind of squatty. They're not very long. So they look more like an 11. Yeah, this was way more simple than I thought it was going to be. Like I said, it's kind of like Lego. The hip bone's connected to my wristwatch. Now you got me singing songs from The Simpsons. Using your 3D printer, level your bed, load your filament, start printing. That's all there is to it. Leveling your bed. Oh, they have a little touchscreen sequence that we can do. They do have software for their printer. They have their own little slicing deal that slices, dices, and juliennes. No offense to the Snapmaker company whatsoever. I appreciate them, wanting to be friends and send me this printer. No offense to them at all, but I have a really hard time building on what Chris Lane is saying there. I have a really hard time not calling it the Sparkmaker. And I don't know if that's because of the the old Western Auto stereos back in the day that we used to Sparks and Static. I don't know why that is, but I'm having a real problem getting the name correct sometimes. Which one is it? Not that one. That's that one. I had to unplug all the USB cables on the back of this printer to move something, and now I don't know which camera goes where. So I had to figure it out every time. See if I can get you in there without a whole lot of glare. Let's turn it on. Sparkmaker sounds familiar. There could have been a resin printer called that. It might be a Sparkmaker. We don't know yet. Dimitri from Helsinki, welcome to the stream. Red Light Mike is here. What is up? According to the Googles, yes, Sparkomatic. That's right, man. Sparkomatic. I was wondering if somebody would come back with that. Okay. So, does it actually tell you what you would like to do? Settings. There is a settings calibration. Settings. Oh, touchscreen works good. Calibration. We are homing. It's so adorable. It's completely lead screw driven. We have homed. No crashing. That's a good sign. Okay. So we'll go to position number 1. It tells you what piece of paper they would like you to use. They want you to use an A4 piece, which I'm not, A4. What do you think this is? I want to see what it actually tells you today. 8-4. Use the up and down buttons. They want you to be 100 micron away from the bed. But then they say, keep adjusting till there's a slight resistance. All right. I have to say, the setup and the instructions and everything, you can reset back to factory. So you can start over from scratch. That's cool. The instructions, the setup, all that, I'm pretty impressed. And, I mean, that's saying something. Because that doesn't seem to happen a lot. How far away are we? Oh, we're way far away. So we gotta... I'd say that's probably pretty good. B-15, no A4s. Jokes. $19.45. What is up? All the way from Hawaii. I bet it's nice there right now. It was 94 yesterday, and somewhere around 600% humidity. It was like wearing a wet bath towel on your face. It does start awful high. Swim when you walk. I like that one better. You win. You win. Negative humidity was a thing, you would have it. I'm going to say that is good. Now, when it heats up, it'll probably be completely different and we'll have to start over, but we'll worry about that later. We have saved. We need to load some filament. They tell you screen by screen how to do all this. So controls, jog mode. Oh, that's just telling you how to move around. Load filament. They say you do it cold? Okay. Well, I'm not going to use Snapmaker filament. We can do something zestier than that. Let's use this. This is Miss Pink from Prusament. If it can't print this, what can it print? Scream by Scream. You know what? I like that one so much. I'm going with the sound effects. You have your filament button here. Now, is this supposed to be like spring-loaded? Yes. It's actually quite hard to press. So it's in there. Jog mode, preheat nozzle, change filament, change the filament, confirm. So let's up Z a bit. Let's go back. Let's change filament. Confirm. Target temp 200, current temp 26, and it is rising. No, I figured you just took the print head off and shook it. Polynate, what's up? Warm bed level is future Chris's problem. That guy. I dump so much stuff on that guy. It's ridiculous. What a chump. It's heating relatively quickly. We're up to 156. 120 is what it looks like the advertised print volume is. All around. All day. We have overshot temp. Yes, Alan, thank you for joining the stream. It is the 3-in-1 laser cutting, all that good stuff. Yes, the power brick is 24 volt at 5 amp. Let's see what it does when it settles out here. So your filament change button is just your preheat. It doesn't actually pull it in or anything. From there, it is a manual affair. This button is relatively hard to push. I don't like it. Go one more time. Picking up Morse code intermittently? No? Can we go ahead and put a Mosquito on it? We could try. By all rights, the Mosquito should be like super, super tiny. It is a Mosquito after all. I wonder if Slice Engineering can make a hot end that's like, 20 millimeters tall. You think that's possible? And I broke it already. No, we're good. Can I use the laser to clean up stringing? If you could attach them both like one in every direction, I'm just gonna turn the laser on and throw it up in the air and see what actually happens. Okay. So now it says I should be able to start printing. Please refer to the Snapmaker manual for printing. Choose the way you would like to print. Where is my Snapmaker furnished USB key? Here it is. And it's metal and everything, comes in a little foam case. Here's where everything goes sideways because I plugged something in USB to the printer while I'm trying to stream. They do have their own, if you would like to see it, they do have their own slicing software for all of your cutting, slicing, teleportation, time travel needs. It's all right here in one go. I have a Benchy in. Surprise. We scroll down a bit. Expert mode, fast print. That's definitely what we want. Move, scale, rotate. This is the first. I did install this, but I did not use it. Export G-code to file. Lay flat, duplicate. So there's quite a few features in here. We have our, let's just for fun. No, we don't want to do that then. Oh, well, we did it anyway. CNC. Lasering looks a whole lot like CNC. 3D printing G-code generator. What is this? Workspace. Aha! So you connect up. It's a lot like Repetier. You have LED strip, cooling fan. All right, so everything looks good, but now will it let me just send it straight to my USB? Save. So they can knock that out in an hour and 19 minutes. The image showed July 15th. Is that what it was? I think he totally missed that too. Files, Benchy, start. What is my coffee of choice? I am a very basic coffee person. I drink Folgers, whatever it's classic or whatever it is. I don't really mess around with coffee. Whatever comes in giant cans, because I need lots of it. Bennett figured out who the special guest for What's 3D Printing today. Well, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. You're going to be really bummed when I don't show up. It's setting the hot end to 205, which I'm fine with, but it's setting the bed to 70. That might cook it a bit. We'll see how that goes. The mic makes things sound funny. I wonder what happened. Can't recommend it, but it's an adorable doorstop. So yes, there is a 3D printing show every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. I believe it is called What's 3D Printing? It is Glenn from Fun King 3D and James from Print and Play. They do a 2-hour stream. They talk about 3D printing. They build things. Sometimes they have special guests. And that will happen today at 4 Eastern. So I urge you to go check that out. I don't know who my moderator is today. I know Mike is on. If somebody has a link to that, I would be more than happy if they would post a link. If not, I will get you one. But definitely come check that out. It usually has nothing to do with 3D printing. Well, that's fine too. If you have a Dollar General, we do. They have a custom folders that's cheaper. Interesting. Country blend. Fiero needs a drive. See you later, Bill. Thanks for joining us today. Where are we at here? The bed is heating very slowly. We'll give it a second. Is FKV going to make a return? It will make a return. I just don't know when. We will do it again. Not on a regular basis, but I'm sure we will have one. There you go. Thank you. You both got it about the same time. Thank you both. That is the link for your afternoon stream. Be sure to check that out. Come hang out. It will be fun. Just catching up on some of the chat. We're talking about shipping drones. Hit the reminder link, yes. It is very, very pink, I have to say. Please tell me there's some sort of baby stepping that I can do. Because future Chris is having a problem. See if it'll spit out enough filament to get it going here.
Let us show our support for Chris and his devotion to the maker community. Feel free to donate to the Folgers Coffee Fund. Slightly smiling face.
Slightly smiling face. Stop moving. That's all you can do too, is calibrate. Poor he always gets everything. He always gets the shaft. I was just doing what the directions told me. You saw. I was actually reading this time. You saw what happened. Let's go back a second. It's a little noisy-ish. It's all lead screws, so it's going to have a very distinct sound. I really want to open up that brain box and see what's in there. Absolutely, Chris Lane. Hopefully that was warm enough to meet my needs. Or there's a severe dip in the center. What happened to my time off? Mark, so the time off doesn't actually count as time off. The time off is usually when I catch up on all my live streams. It's just so I don't have to create weekly content, which is like not working at all when you take time off like that, which it's fabulous. A lot less stress that way. But I am still on my break. Bryce, I wanted to thank you very much for the $5 and the nice comments. Donate to the Folgers Coffee Fund. I always like money for coffee. Clearly, you didn't use A4 paper. Yeah, it's you definitely have a very high speed wobble there. Those are all TR 8x8 screws, so it's got a pretty aggressive spin. Thanks, Mark. I am enjoying it so far. Gear 3D official, what is up? Idea Maker, you know, I've used it on and off. It gets better all the time, it seems like, but the more you use it, the easier it gets. I still am stuck on Prusa Slicer, but it's not bad. It does. It sounds a whole lot like a dot matrix printer. Oh, there's a quote from Thomas Edison on that side. It was Einstein on the other one. Raised cloud, yeah. Studying for 2 tests. Well, I hope you do well. It's a little better, but it could use a little more squish to me. We'll see how we do. Beep, beep, beep. It's got that build tack likes sheet on it, so that stuff usually sticks like iron. It'll work. Okay. Does everybody know what time it is? Now we're speeding up and getting some good sound. Okay, Benchy, howdy doody, game time. It's 9:10 here. All right, gonna try maxing it out. Absolutely. I'm gonna go grab some coffee. Can you see my hand back here? Hey, I'm gonna go grab some coffee. I suggest you do the same, and then we will watch this thing print and hang out for a moment. I'll be right back. I'm back. The Pink Lady. Fastest ship on the sea. You want to print this fast? So this is default settings inside of their slicing software. Does it give me any idea of how fast we print? It says that, so 60 millimeters a second looks to be the fastest speed. It travels at 70 millimeters a second. So not outrageous, but I'd say probably pretty fast for lead screws. Would you rather watch it print? Or would you rather hang out like this? We could check back on it occasionally. Yes, I figured that that was a Pac-Man reference. What were their names? Wasn't like one named Clyde or something? Mike likes this. Well, what Mike says goes, so I'm all over it. These look to be 8 leads. They're standard TR8 by 8s.
Hi Chris, love your videos. Here's some monies for you since I've been using AdBlock for a while. Cold sweat smile.
Daniel, thank you very much for the 1500. Much appreciated. Thanks for catching up for all the AdBlock time. I appreciate that. Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. That's right. And oh, there was a Sue. I didn't know that one. Yeah, 60 millimeters I think is respectable, I would say. I still really want to know what's inside that box. Maybe for the review we have to take it apart. That's kind of my thing. Those lead screws, though, if you watch the lead screw coupler inside here, they are flying. Yes, must take apart all the things. This is one of those snap together, never gonna get it back together cases. I didn't really notice any screws on the other side. We'll see. But it might end up with a lot of tape around it after it gets put back together. The Snapmaker company is gonna love me for that. Dovin, Ender 3 version 2. Yes. Yes to that. That's all I'm gonna say. Yes, you will see one. SNR Tech Bytes. HDMI input to Raspberry Pi for Octolabs. Awesome. Always interested in learning something new. Use the laser to open it. 3D print a case, you could do that. They had names? I like that one. You're printing AVS on your tarantula. You feel almost criminal. Should solve the noise issue. Might take a couple of whacks. I definitely wouldn't want to sit next to this while I was, designing or working. I'm really curious what drivers they use. They're probably just old, Allegro chips or something. No way. The Tetris pieces have their own individual names? I didn't know that. It is super rigid. The frame is really stout. You could boat anchor this thing pretty easy. It's pretty serious. I really like the way they've done it. With the modular pieces, everything is the same. You can't mess it up. So we'll see how the other ones go, laser and CNC, but it is pricey. You pay for it. They're somewhere around $800. But I do like the way they've done things. It's moving through that infill. You can see where it can't even lay it down because it's going so fast. There's a little fan that faces down. I was wondering about part cooling as well. But there's a little fan that faces down, but I wouldn't say, and there is a hot end fan that goes out the side. So it's attempting to cool it a bit, but not enough to, not enough that I would call it part cooling. Are lead screws better than belts? For 3D printing applications, I would say no. It kind of depends what you're going for. Lead screws have to be treated in a certain way. You have to make certain allowances to use them, especially when they're very, very long. In these short applications, doesn't matter so much. But for a lot of the 3D printing and things that you see on these machines, belts are going to be the way to go for most things. Let the laser heat the nozzle and try 3D printing. Partial cooling at best. That's probably a great way to put it. Does it warrant the price? Well, if it actually does all of the things that it says it does, just seeing the construction, sure it does. I would say yes, $800. If it can actually cut and laser and all that good stuff adequately, yeah, I would say yes. Because this wasn't cheap to make. There's a lot of metal. I mean, I would say it's a well-built machine, but we will see how well it does all of those things. It does have a very small footprint, so I don't know. We're gonna find out. These are just Acme thread. These are TR 8x8s. Martin, yes, it does make a lot of noise. It is a noisy little guy. Thanks for joining us. I would totally agree with that. CNC machines are different machines than 3D printers. I don't care for companies trying to do both. I don't think that's a wise move. But I'm more than willing to give it a try. You're trying to achieve different goals there. Part cooling is going to be an issue. Yeah, you are correct, Stephen. That is 100%. Well, and I didn't want to get into all the backlash and how you actually have to have lead screws loaded for them to work properly. I'm going to take this apart and see what's in there. I don't know what they're doing about that. It does not appear to be causing an issue. They do have some nylon retainers, it looks like, inside there. So maybe they have some sort of contraption on there, but there is no slop in it. It's moving with purpose. So they got something going on in there. 2020 printer is still a thing. It's not dead yet. I have what, 5.5 months to get it done. It is still a thing, and we will talk about that actually in a couple of days. So stay tuned for that one. Well, and I guess, Ricky, that's probably a good thing to talk about because there is a Snapmaker 2. That's why you're seeing a lot of folks get these because Snapmaker 2 is now in Kickstarter. I don't know what its status is right at the moment, but they're getting ready to come out with another one. And I don't know, I really don't know the specifics on that, but they're getting ready to go again. So I'm guessing they're going to fix a lot of these issues on that version. MMU on Snapmaker, that would be quite the chore. You don't have enough room for a purge block and a model. That's right, a machine that does everything usually does nothing well. Interesting. Two different cutting planes or work planes. Snapmaker 2 is shipping right now. Okay. I am still printing a printed printer with a printed printer. Yes, that's a lot to say. I ran into some issues with the SCAD files, and I never got around to fixing them. There are some of the files that are corrupt in that project, so I have to manually edit those to get them to fit the tolerances of the printed printer. So it's still over there. I haven't got around to it. It seems like this year has just disappeared. I swear yesterday it was January. I swear. And I had really good intentions of getting things done this year. 7,850%. Manual editing is the worst. How we doing? It's still going. Infill was looking kind of messy. Can you do software backlash compensation on lead screws? Software backlash compensation is kind of a unique thing. I have never really had much luck with it doing anything well. I mean, I get it. Backlash is backlash at that point. I guess you could attempt it, but yeah. What it's doing is trying to predict, right? It's trying to predict the future and what's getting ready to happen. And sometimes it works. So I mean, technically, yes, it would work the same, but I don't know if I would really attempt. You're way better off fixing the problem than trying to use it. Past Chris says, I'm really good at the planning part. The execution part, not great. 7.8 million in sales. Well, I can say their promotional stuff and their art department and all of that does a fantastic job. All of the stuff that it comes with is pretty impressive. Slight preload definitely beats backlash, yes. They need to be loaded. Busy times. Yeah, I don't know where it all goes, but it goes somewhere. Benchy's about, does it give us a percentage or anything cool on the screen? Tap to activate, oh, it goes to sleep. Wakey? It says 15% on the screen, and it's been going for 22 minutes. I'd say we were a lot further than 15%, but that's okay. They're selling it with, hey, let's just, while we are, I thought I knocked my coffee over for a second. I was going to start crying. Since we're waiting on things to print, let's just check it out, shall we? So, this is Snapmaker 1, right? This is the guy that we're dealing with here. That looks massive. Fortnite mask. You know, honestly, I'm going to tell you something right now. I have no idea what Fortnite is. I know the kids seem to like it. Snapmaker 2. We don't want to watch the video. Ooh, look at all the bits he's got. I can only imagine. Dozens of materials. Add-ons. A rotary module? Emergency stop button, that would be handy. Easy to use. Wi-Fi connectivity. See what I mean, though? They have some serious marketing stuff going on here. Filament runout recovery. Auto leveling. Upgraded cooling system. So they have part cooling now. Dust resistant. How big is it this time? Build volume is still... Oh, you can get 3 different ones. You can get a really big one. What's that guy cost? Snapmaker 1 raised 2.2 million in 45 days. Buy now. So the big one is $1,300. I don't need a coupon, thank you. Orders will ship in November. So there you go. What's the little one cost? $8.79. So about the same. And that one is later. That one is $1,100. So it looks like they've made some improvements, and you can get different sizes. We'll see. Maybe they love this live stream so much that they're going to send me a Snapmaker 2. Centric Nut is here. It is morning, kind of. What's up, Skalda? What is the firmware? That's a great question. I don't know. You can take it in the bath. Is this thing able to cut aluminum? I highly doubt it. Did I ever settle on a new set of calipers? No, I did not. I still, you know, like when you put something in the cart and you just kind of hover over it thinking, I'm going to buy it. Nope, I'm not going to. I'm going to buy it. That's exactly how I am with the calipers right now. I don't need a new set of calipers. My calipers work just fine. But I want a new set of calipers. For no reason at all. Do you think you can make a video on custom physical buttons that triggers G-code, or is that even possible with Marlin? You could make a custom button that triggered a file off your SD card. I bet you I could make that work. Octoprint would be way easier. I don't know. I've never considered it. Hopefully in 2.0 they have changed the stepper drivers. I would love to get a look at pictures of their boards side by side. And well, that's what everybody, and Ricky H, that's what everybody keeps telling me, and that's the ones I've been looking at. They're around $110, $120. And like I said, I've got a couple of different, I got 4 pair right now, and they all work just fine. I got a manual pair and a couple different sizes of digitals. They work fine. But I just kind of want another set. The best calibers are left-handed calibers. Ender 3 button box on Thingiverse. Alright. Yeah, there's a couple different action command plugins for Octoprint that you can do that with, I believe. MKS Gen 1.3 to SKR 1.3 is the upgrade worth it? Is your MKS Gen 1.3 a 32-bit board? If it is, don't bother. There's no reason to. If it's working, go with it. Because your chances on getting something by going to the SKR board, you're not going to gain anything, and you're just going to have a chance to introduce some issues. So if it's 32-bit, just keep that one. You made a live stream. Notice me. Oh, Jake from State Farm knows how much I love that. As accurate for machining. Yeah. Because, I mean, those goes down thousandths, right? I mean, seriously accurate. Yeah, and that's Mad Mike. You've watched these streams for over 3 years now. You know how much of a close enough person that I am. I'm not super concerned. It's just something to want, I guess. I don't know. My birthday is on Friday, by the way, so maybe somebody can get them for my birthday. Maybe I'll have to ask my wife if I can have those for my birthday. Should you upgrade your Mark II or leave it stock? Personally, Mike, I would leave it stock. That's just my opinion. My Mark IIs print really well. The only thing that I would change about the Mark II is I really would like to have silent stepper drivers. So if I was going to make an upgrade, I'd probably get an INC Retro board and swap it out with the Mini. Mini Rambo? Yeah. Swap that board out. I don't know how firmware would go on that. But if I was going to make one change to both of I got 2 Mark IIs, and it's just, I need them to be just a little bit quieter. That's really it. But I wouldn't upgrade anything else. I think they print just fine. Maybe throw a filament runout sensor on there, but no, I wouldn't do it. The removable sheet is nice, but once you're used to using that PEI sheet on the Mark II, you know the gist. You don't need the removable sheet. It's just a nice to have. Happy. Oh, thank you for all the birthday. Perfectly after 26 years. Excellent. Thank you for all the happy birthdays. You might see me again before then. You never know.
Have a happy birthday.
Thank you very much, Bob, for the 20 bucks. I will spend it wisely. You picked it up for 200. Man, that's a steal, Mike. Again, though, if it's working, When I go with Einstein rather than the SKR and the Mark III, on a Mark III, yes, I would. And I'll tell you why. There's nothing wrong with SKR boards. I mean, they are what they are. They do a good job. They give you lots of features at a very reasonable price. But the quality is not there. You can make them work. Sometimes you might have to have 2 or 3 boards, because some of them have different bugs and problems. You might not get it first go. But the components that they use, and to get them to that price point, it's just not, it's not a very high-end thing. You go back and look at what Ultimachine has done, look what Panicat has done. Their boards are expensive. Duet, they're pricey, but they last forever. I will give it to Ultimachine. There has been a few issues over the years with certain types of connectors. I give you that. They did correct that on the Einstein board. But if I needed a printer to last, I just needed it to print. I needed it to last a long time. On an i3 machine like a Prusa printer, I would definitely go with the Einstein board. And people are going to argue print artifacts and different issues here and there. You can see some stepper noise on the print. All that good stuff that would probably be alleviated with a different driver rather than a 2130. Or you could go on and on and on and on. But I still think the Einstein is a solid choice, and I'm sticking with it. From the 1st of July birthday boy, well, happy belated birthday to you. Yeah, my Mark IIs are, yeah, they were purchased in 2017, and I think I got one in 17, one in 18, but they still work a couple of times a week. I still use them, so I wouldn't change anything. They're just noisy. Thank you for all the birthdays, the up-and-coming birthday wishes. I only told you that because I was angling on trying to get a present of calipers from someone. Now I have to go ask. Not from you all, of course. On a Mark II. I still think I would stay with the Ultimachine boards if I could. Yeah, Bennett, that's a great question. Why do they use that style of connector? That's just what they've always done. I don't know what the reasoning was. I don't know if there's a different rating on that type of connector versus the others, but that's just what they've always done. I kind of feel strongly one way, and I feel strongly both ways on that type of connector. I like the clip that secures them. I also hate that clip. Sometimes they're a real pain, but it's somewhat kind of assuring to know that they're in there. So I kind of go both ways on that whole connector deal. Duet everything, and there's another completely valid point. If you really wanted to go high end, silent, the whole 9 yards, you'd put a duet on your Prusa, which I think is completely overkill. But I mean, if we're gonna go for it, we might as well go for it, right? Now we're doing birthday songs in the chat. Yes, I will still. I'm still printing on the Prusa Mini. I have lots of prints done. I am still going to do a review. It will be coming up very soon, actually, in the next couple of weeks. You don't like those connectors, and you have to recrimp all of the Prusa parts. Yes, I understand. Paul McGull is in the chat. Welcome, Paul. He has hit an issue using NeoPixels on the newest versions of Marlin on a mini board, I think it was. I spent a couple of hours yesterday troubleshooting the code, trying to figure out why it won't pull in the library. So if there are any Marlin wizards in the chat, and you know a workaround for that Adafruit NeoPixel library, I am all ears, because I can't figure out why it can't find it. I might have to ask Mr. Latine to give me some slight assistance on that one, because I can't find it. And I'm usually pretty good at digging through that stuff. Don't know why it won't register. So I'm still thinking about that one, and it's really aggravating that I couldn't figure that out. But if anybody knows, let me know. If it doesn't improve print quality, why spend the money? It's a fair point. Kenneth, happy early hatching day. I got one more year, Kenneth. Friday, I turn 39. So I got one more year.
Mid-Toyo Calipers Fund. Happy birthday!
Thank you very much, Ricky, for the $5 for the fund. I appreciate that. Nice. Mars Gizmo. He's got the IGUS linear rails. Those things are sweet. For the Earth 2021 Benchy contest. You got me. That's all I've been doing. We're considered old when we hit 30. Yeah, I kind of felt that way anyway. 29, 10 years in a row. You know, Octoprint estimate print time works with the Mini. You know, I haven't noticed. I do have Octoprint plugged in over there, but I haven't really been paying attention. Most of those estimate times are so inaccurate anyway that I just kind of throw that out the window. So, no, I don't know. I would have to go look at that. Absolutely. I learn new stuff all the time. And just a great example is this, the whole chameleon thing. You know, I had Bill is kind of he's the mastermind by the whole chameleon multicolor printing. And I had Bill on email, and we went back and forth, and he's really good about providing information. And I go into things thinking, you know, I know something about 3D printing. I have a little bit of experience with it, and slicing and G-code and firmware and all that good stuff. I know a little bit about it. I am no master at any one thing. I just kind of do general stuff. But when I work with somebody like Bill that is dedicated to a project, I always learn little pieces of stuff. And I learned a lot during that chameleon build. I learned a lot of things during the chameleon build that I can take back to every printer. Just how, for example, how max volumetric speed affects different parts in the slicer, what it actually affects, and how all that works. I didn't know any of that. I knew what it was and how it worked, but I didn't know what it actually impacted until last week. So there's always stuff to learn, and that's kind of what this is all about, just trying to spread the wealth a little.
Happy birthday from all of us to you. Happy birthday, may you get your calipers too.
Mike, thank you very much for the $5, and I am so happy that that came out in text-to-speech because that's now on here forever. 39 on the 20th and 37 on the 30th. Well, you got a lot of birthdays. Part-time Genius plugin is pretty accurate. Okay. Paul, it hasn't read your thing yet, but thank you very much for the $5.
Thanks, man. I did end up get it compiled, had to change some stuff in platform IO, but now, even with the right pin set, the lights don't come on.
Yeah. I was afraid of that. I do have one of those NeoPixel modules somewhere. I really need to test all that stuff. It's either blank or all zeros. Okay. $39 on the 30th. Right on.
This old man here is constantly learning from you youngins that grew up with this technology at an early age. Birthday cake.
Well, Farrah, thank you very much for the 10. Happy to help in any way I can. Wife hits an age I can't say. 44 on the 19th. A lot of summer birthdays. 42 in September. Also the answer to life. 42. Here's the ETA override plugin. There you go. Thanks for the suggestion, Pat. Be 15 in September. I barely remember when I was 15. I'm sure I was breaking something then, too. I was probably just starting to get really heavy into dabbling in explosives. My wife actually asked me that question when I first started getting into 3D printing. I think that has happened to a lot of us. I think I remember having a conversation with Glenn about it. But that was the question. Does this thing print anything but parts for 3D printers? And, you know, I really kind of had to think about that for a second. Well, no. It just prints parts for itself. That's what it does. Tom turned 40 in March. It was worse turning 30. I could see that. I got married when I was 28. So after I got married, you know, getting older really didn't seem to matter to me so much. I have not finished the Railcore yet. We will be finishing that in the next couple of weeks. I've got a lot of stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks. There's going to be lots of streams. Not next weekend, but the weekend after that. I don't know if I'm going to start on Saturday or Sunday, but there will be a string of live streams coming through there, and we're going to try to get as far as we can on the Railcore. I want to set up another camera for Railcore because it's so tall. It's going to be really hard for you to watch me work on anything. So I'm going to kind of try to do like an over-the-shoulder deal here so you can kind of watch from this angle. We'll see how that works out, but it is coming. We will finish it. Building Tesla coils. Nice. $14 in December. Explosives is why you studied chemistry. Absolutely. I should have done that. Robots are taking over one 3D printer at a time. Well, it's still going. It hasn't jammed or anything yet. How are we doing on time? It's almost 2 o'clock my time. One too many. Helmet cam. Somebody said, yeah, GoPro on your forehead. Do VLV after railcore. Somebody was it printed solid? I was looking somewhere. I think it's printed solid. They're selling Voron kits. That one is really interesting. So. Yeah, Paul, that when I find something, when somebody asks me a question like that and I can't figure it out, then it bothers me for the rest of my life. I'm gonna have to pull in some more resources on that one and see if I can figure it out, because it is really aggravating. There's a lot of people online that complain about that same thing, so we'll see. Get off my lawn. That's kind of how I feel about it. Get off my lawn. Vorons are looking pretty good. Those are pretty sharp. Well, that's a good point. So we have at least 10 years before, before things really start ramping up. Almost 9 on Sunday. Tom, how is your build going? Last time I heard you were still waiting on a few parts here and there. I have never tried a metal printer. It would be awesome, but I have never tried it. Ricky, I've done some PVA on the MMU2. If you actively dry the PVA while you're printing with it, it works fairly well. Better get your jammies on. Max, the SK Go is a pretty nice machine. The only thing I really didn't like about it was how the bed brackets actually held up the bed and how that was designed. It's just a little too flimsy for the frame that sets on it. I went through and did I fix mounted the bed and did an ABL sensor, and that sorted out most of my issues. The newer, they're going to actually rework that part on the newer versions. I don't know if that makes it cost some more money or how that affects the price, but they did change some of that up. So a lot of that has been fixed. That's the only complaint I have about it. The rest of it is great. It works really well. How do you actively dry it? You can, I pull mine out of a food dehydrator. So I dry it really well, and then while it's printing, I just leave it in there and let it sit there and dry. Because it has to be super dry, or it turns back into glue. Billy Joe, I would love to. I would have to find somebody that would furnish me one, because I think they are going to be extremely expensive. If anybody has any contacts at companies, tell them, look me up. No Philistruder. Yeah, I don't. I'm really curious about what's inside there. I don't really see any artifacts that would relate to that. It is kind of messy, but I'm gonna blame most of that on part cooling, and it is really moving. Yeah, Max. Ernest is great to work with. He listens and he makes upgrades as needed. So I'm hoping the version that you end up with is the newer one because those brackets just being a little bit wider helps a ton.
Hi Riley, was using your tutorials to tune my custom-built 3D printer. Just want to say huge thanks to you. You made my life much easier. Cheers.
Sir Jesse, thank you very much for the 5. Much appreciated. I'm glad that it made it easier for you. That makes me happy to hear. Fillustrator kit dropped to 300. That's interesting. LDO order for most of the parts, huge. Notice extrusion, Mosquito magnet, flex drive, etc. I'm really interested to see how that whole flex drive thing goes for you. I know there's a few people that have had good luck with them. Mine was way too, it was too big of a mess for me to mess with any longer. In a couple of days. Cool. Glad to hear that you're getting ready to get started. Or use the Filidry. Now don't start. Don't start. We don't want to go there again. I still get comments about that thing, by the way. Chris Galata, welcome. Yes, hopefully Tom shows us a lot of this stuff on a live stream. I would like to see that. Thomas is doing a Hevo. It kind of depends. Kind of depends. I mean, if you had, I always like to start with budget. You know, what kind of price range are we talking? I mean, just buy a Duet Wi-Fi. That you would be so pleased with that. Except for the screen options, those are kind of limited. You have a problem with your CR10S Pro. My email is on my YouTube channel. It's in the information thing. It's like, I think it's called About. You can check that out. 5, 6 figures. Ouch. Yes, powdered metal is scary flammable. It is quite noisy. He's a noisy little guy. Yeah, I mean, rip-wrap firmware on the SKR boards, that is promising, but it's still the SKR board. I mean, there's nothing wrong with SKR boards, but they do, sometimes they require a bit of a learning curve. Sometimes they work first time out. But I mean, if rip-wrap is something you like, if you want to use the DWC or something like that based on your needs for firmware, yes, it'll work just fine. It does need TMC drivers. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, Snapmaker 2.0, anybody that purchases that machine, it will have silent drivers on it for you, because it definitely needs them. Do I recommend a specific one? For a heat bed, no. Just grab one. There's really nothing special there. Especially when you're going to use that AC heated pad and you're just going to throw something underneath it. No, I don't. There's nothing specific about that I would recommend. Just grab one. Grab 5. 100K thermistor of any type will work for you. Bill's back. He did not miss anything. We are still printing a tiny boat. How's the Fiero? You made it back. You didn't have to walk back, so that's a good sign. Pop was lucky. Both of them worked. Awesome. Chris, no worries. Nothing happened to the rail core. It's right there. I just haven't finished it yet. I will be finishing it up in a couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. Excellent. Yeah, just 100K. What do they call that guy? Just what a generic 100K is going to work. It'll be good. Agreed, Alan. I at this point, I think it's just me being stuck in my ways and what I have experience with. It helps that I know people that develop Marlin, so I like to see what they add. I like to see what comes from the community. I just like to see it progress. So I really enjoy Marlin firmware. But RipRap has its advantages. There's nothing wrong with it. Somebody suggested the other day that I compare them side by side. And I would like to do that. It's not going to be easy to do, but I would like to give it a shot. Try to get the machine settings as close as possible to compare the two different firmwares on the same prints on the same machine, same board. That's going to be the real trick. But I would like to give that a go at some point. Yeah. I hear a lot of horror stories about minis. People just so frustrated. I'm hoping that the Mini V2, now that it's out, they have addressed a whole lot of issues. There's some artifacting on the front there. In some of the spots, it looks like the retraction was way too high. But it was moving so fast. We'll show you what Bill's talking about here. It was moving so fast through the infill. You can see that guy right there, and then those down here. It was actually not able to lay it down and have it grip it on those infill sections. It was moving so fast. It is not a perfect Vinci by any means. This is the fast setting in their slicer. I am going to go back and try slowing it down a bit just to see if we can do a little better. But there's no part cooling whatsoever. So the front of it, you won't be able to see the front of it yet. We'll look at it at the end. But it's extremely pinched where it couldn't do that overhang. So it's not the best Vinci I've ever seen, but it's not terrible. So we'll keep going. What about fixing up the G-Tech? That is another project that I still have to do. That will be one of the first videos that comes out when I come back from my vacation. I still have some parts to finish up on that one. Some part designing for that one. Sounds like a chew toy. Will I be at Virtual Earth? They invited me to come to Virtual Earth, but I really didn't feel like I had anything that would be that entertaining to show you all. So I will not be on Virtual Earth. Eric has the DIP 11 2209s. Yep, awesome. It is very shiny. It is about as pink as you can get. Gary, thank you very much for that, for those kind words. And I'm sorry that you now have 5, because I probably had a hand in that. But I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. Five and one out of Ender 3 and Big 2 Tech GTR. That sounds like an interesting build. I was gonna Bill's on here. I was gonna send him an email and I haven't yet. But something I found out on the Chameleon. So I guess there's some sort of bug on the default Creality boards, how they're set up. If you run, so an M84 command will shut the motors off, but you should be able to shut the motors off one by one. Like just give it the X, Y, or whatever. If you do that on that Ender 3 board, it doesn't work that way. Only Z is separate. So we really just want to shut off the extruder motor, but you can't do that on that board. That if you send it an E, it's just not going to do anything. But you don't want to shut off Z because you don't want to lose voltage while you're printing. So I had to change that up a bit. But that is included in the new link that I provided on those videos. Moving switches to the top. Gotcha. Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. So they trigger by Z, you wouldn't have that issue. Get some of this stuff out of the way while we're standing here doing nothing. It's always an endless supply of boxes sitting right over here. In fact, I am going to see if there is any more coffee left. Hey, keep watching that guy. I'll be right back. I'm back. No coffee. I opted for water, but we're going to sit here and watch this while I eat this granola bar because I'm hungry. Business card embosser? I don't know that one. It does a really long retraction. I'm interested to see what the retraction speed is on that. mm. You should check out the Gary. Thanks for the sub. You should check out the thumbnail on this video. Notice anything strange about it? Nope, no Z-hop. I wonder if that's a setting in there. So that link is to What's 3D Printing. It's going to happen here in 42 minutes and some change. So go over and check that out here in a little while. Yes, it absolutely needs some part cooling. We're going to have to go the desk fan route on this guy. Background looks kind of familiar. You don't think Funkin goes well together, huh? That's a pretty funny story. If you ever meet Glenn in person, that's a funny story how that came about. You might be able to. That's a good question. It is all metal. We might be able to magnet something on there. It's got screws all over it, so we could definitely piggyback on one of those. One fan doing both jobs. Yeah. As soon as this thing's done, I gotta get a look at that print head a little better. I want to take it off and look at the underside of it. Boy, it doesn't do that bridge very well, does it? Oh, that was kind of sad. Sorry, bridging. I don't know what kind of fans it has on it. HP, how's the FT6? It's okay. I haven't really done much with it. I'm neglecting to upgrade it. The extruder on it isn't so awesome. It works, but it's a pretty simple Mark 8 style. It really needs something a little better than that. The squeaking's coming from the whole machine. It's just kind of squeaky. I don't think it's coming unstuck. It is a very noisy little guy. That is for sure. How the lead screws are encased in that metal doesn't help anything. Not so great looking of a Vinci, but you know. Here's the big bridge. Oh yeah, I was gonna check and see if this software had Z-hop in it. It does have the option for Z-hop, it just isn't turned on. Retraction by default is 6.5 millimeters at 25 millimeters a second. I think you could probably improve this thing a lot just with a few slicer tweaks. How many benches do you have? A good competition question. I couldn't tell you, honestly. Hundreds? I could put them all in a giant box and let you guess. A recorder flute? The most annoying instrument in the world? I think the retraction on it is just way too high for this printer. I'm not really sure why they went that route. I'll dig into the slicer settings a little more though. Maybe they're trying to alleviate stringing because there's no cooling. Maybe that's what they were thinking. Whoever guesses the closest wins 100 benchies. Do that for the 50K stream. Winner gets the box. Then you can swim in a box of benchies. It's going to be a very pointy swim. How did my wife make the Family Simpsons? I don't know, honestly. There's a website that does it, and I don't know the name of the site. I'm not sure where she got it from. But yeah, there's a site that just does that. Second closest gets 200 benchies. Pink AF. Yeah, see, like when it's doing that type of fill right there, you can see just how thin the bead of filament gets. Let's see. Hey, they sent me an alert. Did you know that I was live right now? Okay, we're getting close. I think we're on the last section here. I think you have just enough camera view where you're going to see it finish, too. We got lucky on that one. It actually slowed way down for the chimney, it appears. It's doing it in 2 directions, so it might actually achieve a pretty good result. At least it won't come out like a melted candle. Yeah, it's a lot sharper than I thought it would be with no cooling. No, I use their slicer, but it looks a whole lot like Cura, Tristan. Gary, I much prefer direct drive machines. It's just a personal preference. I have not tried the other tools. I won't be lasering or cutting anything today. It actually gap filled that. I hope when it's done that it pushes it all the way out to the end so it gets super close to the camera. I always love it when that happens. It did a much better job on that than I thought it was going to, compared to the overhang in front. There it is. Nice. I love it when that happens. Oh, it's going back now. Now, why did it do that? It was kind of fun, but why did it do that? Anyway. There it is. So you've been watching this side for like 2 hours now, so you kind of get the gist of that side, right? We're a bit noisy in more ways than one. So we have definitely a little bit of missing filament down in here and here. So that's pretty obvious. The sides are a bit noisy. I think if you slowed down, you could probably get rid of a lot of that. I'm going to pull a hot print off of a bed. Probably shouldn't do that. You can see the overhang here. It's just completely dented in. It's just not going to be able to do that without part cooling. Not very well, anyway. You can kind of trick the slicer into that sometimes, but you can see that infill pattern too if you look real close. Not a whole lot of exterior walls. There's some ghosting in there. Very shiny filament. The top surfaces, there's a little bit of artifact on that. The smokestack did really well. You can see the different layer changes, but bottom came out decent. I don't know. All in all, it looks fair for no part cooling and all that aside. It looks decent. 4.5 out of 10. Let's say that. It was showing off. It was doing breakdancing for us. So, all in all, not too bad. I am pretty impressed with the assembly, how it all came together, the paperwork, the manual, the screen, the print. But like we were saying before, it does 3 things. Maybe it doesn't do them all so well. We will see. I'm curious of how these other tool heads are going to work, and how maybe we could fashion us a little bit of part cooling on this guy. We shall see. Would you trade laser engraving for a layer fan? Probably so. Maybe not at this price point, though. It does have potential, I would say. Not bad for a snap together. Okay, before we get out of here, I am done with this stream for the day. Go and here in 23 minutes, go and watch my buddies on their live stream, James at Print and Play and Funking 3D. Check them out. That will be happening. If you don't have anything else to do, check out that stream. Thank you for everybody that hung out with me today. This has been Snapmaker the original. We'll check out some of the tools. We will have more live streams coming up. Thanks for all the super chat and birthday wishes for my birthday on Friday. Always appreciated. Thanks for hanging out, spending your Sunday with me, and I will see you all very, very soon. Thanks, everybody.